yeah, if you want to see what else we're doing outside of any other platform or outside of this platform, you can hit me up on all of them pretty much at Kicking It with Timmy B. And then we're on Twitter right now known as X. You can hit me up on there at KIWTB Gaming. But without further ado, let's go read what Donald Trump has to say on Truth Social about this VP pick. So Donald J. Trump says at the real Donald Trump, after lengthy deliberation and thought, and considering the tremendous talents of many others, I have decided that the person best suited to assume the position of Vice President of the United States is Senator J.D. Vance of the great state of Ohio. JD honorably served our country in the Marine Corps. Very interesting. Graduated from Ohio State University in 2 years. Wow. Instead of doing it in 4, he did it all in 2. Interesting. Okay. Summa cum laude, which is like, I'm pretty sure that's like top tier, right? It's like valedictorian or whatever they call that. I didn't get that, so I wouldn't know anything about it. Summa cum laude is a Latin phrase that means the highest distinction, and it is the highest honor that educational institutions can bestow upon students. It's given to students who have surpassed most of their peers in the field of study, both academically and in the mastery of it. Interesting. It is, so back to what he was saying, and it is a Yale Law School graduate, where he was editor of the Yale Law School or Law Journal and the president of the Yale Law Veterans Association. JD's book, Hillbilly Elegy, became a major bestseller and movie as it championed the hard work. I was like, what? As it championed the hardworking men and women of our country. JD has had a very successful business career in technology, finance, and now, during the campaign, he will be strongly focused on the people he fought so brilliantly for, the American workers and farmers in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Minnesota, and far beyond. So this is straight from Donald Trump's Truth Social. It seems like JD Vance is the one, huh? Well, let's move on out of here with that, and let's get Brandon Tatum to explain what how he thinks about all this. I tried to find like a video of them announcing it, of Donald Trump announcing it, but he didn't like announce it on stage. Like, he didn't announce it in the speech. Supposedly he announced it just on True Social. So let's go see what Brandon Tatum has to say. He's a police officer. Friends with Candace Owens and stuff like that. I don't agree with everything that he says and has said before, but he has some very interesting thoughts. Let's see what he has to say. Officer Tatum.
What's going on, y'all? Donald Trump has just picked the vice president. He's chosen to pick J.D. Vance. Now, I'm going to let a couple people get in so we can explain it, but it's breaking news. I got a report of it like 10 minutes ago. It took me a while to get set up on the live. But Donald Trump has selected J.D. Vance. It's been confirmed. A whole bunch of sources that I know have confirmed it, that's going to be the next vice president of the United States of America. And I say that because Donald Trump is going to win. So we might as well chalk it in that J.D. Vance is the vice president. Let me just give you my thoughts on
J.D. Vance real
quick. I don't know much about J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance was a never Trumper. He said all kind of crazy stuff about Donald Trump at one point, which I don't like, the fact that Trump would pick him because of his past. But everybody can change, right? I will say this. I think it's not a good pick. I hope to God that I'm wrong. I think it's not a good pick because I think we need to play the game just like they playing the game. All they're going to do is push that there's 2 white men running the country and
it's not a good look.
And all these other things that they're going to push.
It's not a good look.
White men. I just think that idiot, low information voters are going to see that and think that the ticket of diversity and inclusion versus the ticket of 2 white men.
Which, I mean, in my personal opinion, Tulsi Gabbard, I think, would have been great. Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek. I mean, Vivek was my number one pick for that. If I were, you know, but regardless, I mean, it's very interesting because you do have to combat those folks that are just like, bruh, the folks who are wanting more diverse picks here. A diverse group of individuals instead of just the same old check the box, like, I don't know. Let's continue.
I'm gonna get to why I like JD Vance in a second, but this is what I don't like about it. I thought he should have picked somebody like Byron Donalds. I thought he should have picked at least Vivek Ramaswamy, because I think that Vivek Ramaswamy poses a big, huge threat to the establishment, and they don't have a vested interest in getting rid of Trump if somebody like Vivek could take over. But somebody like JD Vance,
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a pushover, huh? Vivek is totally, in my opinion, just by going off of all the stuff I've seen, he's the guy that's going to be pushing back consistently, and he would have his back. But, I mean, I don't know too much about J.D. Vance. He's, like, real big in Pennsylvania and Ohio, and obviously we just read a little bit about him, but I don't know beyond that stuff that we just read. Like, I don't know, man. He's a Marine, though. Why would he back down? But you never know.
they probably want him to take over. I don't think he's as radical. I don't think he's as bold as Donald Trump consistently across the board, consistently over time. I literally have seen J.D. Vance say that Donald Trump is a threat and that he did not support Donald Trump. I've seen it happen. Now,
I guess it's good to have somebody that's not with him, so it'd be like, look, this guy wasn't with me. He wasn't about this, but obviously he's seen yada 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 and kind of changed his mind, right? I could see that spin, but I don't know, man. That's a little risky. Vivek, man, it's all the way.
you guys can have your opinions. I think J.D. Vance, and a good thing about J.D. Vance is that he's from Ohio, which is one of those battleground states. And then also, I think he's very articulate. I think he's very smart on the issues. I think he's very professional. And I think he's a safe pick for Trump because he's not too radical.
See what the chat says here.
Degree. So if you're just now joining, Donald Trump selected J.D. Vance as his vice president. He haven't announced it yet. But right now, if you are looking at the RNC, they're now giving their delegates. So, right, American Samoa has given their delegates. I mean, all the other states are giving their delegates, and all the delegates are going to Donald Trump, obviously, unless somebody's smoking crack with Hunter Biden somewhere, that they wouldn't give, all the delegates wouldn't select Donald Trump unanimously as the candidate. I hope that every single never Trumper is crying themselves to sleep right now.
This dude's crazy.
Because they are wrong, they're incompetent, and they hate America. To be honest, if you dislike Trump, you honestly dislike America. You cannot differentiate the two, in my personal opinion.
You're free to have your own opinion. That's where I will cut it right there. You're definitely free to have your own opinion, but okay. Well, that's the JD Vance part from Officer Tatum. I mean, that was enough for me. That's enough right there. Like I said, Vivek would have been my personal choice. I mean, to be honest, it would have been nice to just have like a different Republican nominated person in general, like instead of Donald Trump. But this is what we have here, folks. Like this is what's in front of us here, and limited time until the election. This is what we got. This is what we have to deal with, unfortunately. So I mean, it's best to get as many good players into this as possible. I'm very interested to see what the DNC is going to do, and we're going to be doing some content on that when that drops next month. We'll be doing a live stream discussing what's going on with the RNC. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm thinking JD Vance, man. He's going to be he's going to be leading this movement like into 2028, and then who's going to be the VP for this guy, right? If he decides to run for president, JD Vance, after the 4-year vice president term goes, what is he, who's going to, step up to that to be VP, or who's going to, because that's going to be completely different, because now Donald Trump at that point is going to be, he already did he would have done the 2 terms. There's no, he can do a third or fourth term, because he would be trying to run for the 4th time, but he can't do a 3rd term, right? You know what I mean? He won't be on the ballot. So it's just so interesting, just taking a step back from like today and looking towards the future. It's like, wow, who's going to be the nomination, 4 years from now. But right now, we got to worry about it right now. We might not even make it, to that point, God willing. But anyway, let's go check this out. That's what I think. Let me know what you folks think in the comment section below. JD Vance being the VP for Donald Trump, or for former President Donald Trump, and his upcoming election campaign to become the 47th president of the United States of America. It's your boy KIWTB. Hit the like, share, and the subscribe button, and let me know what you folks think. Yeah.